welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla and I'm going to be doing a video on my top 3 items to get you through the summer heat at Universal or Disney. There are many videos out there that give tips on how to stay cool in Disney or Universal. These tips are fantastic, but they're told time and time again. So these would be things like drink plenty of water, avoid the midday, so take a break during the noon to 2 hours. This would be going through gift shops instead of walking on the street. This would be things like sitting in a show in an air-conditioned theater during those times. And these are all fantastic tips, but I found 3 things to be completely essential during our visit. So we recently went to Disney and Universal in late July. It was the very last week of July, and we had told ourselves we weren't going to go to Disney, we weren't going to go to Florida in the summer anymore for a couple reasons. Number 1 being crowds, and number 2 being the heat. I personally have a really hard time dealing with intense summer heat, especially when I want to be outside and I want to be active and I want to be moving around and I want to be excited. It's really hard for me when I'm sweating and I'm exhausted and I just feel disgusting. So I tried 3 new items on our recent trip and I found that these made a world of difference. So I'm going to show those to you today. My number 1 most essential item that I found to keep me cool at Universal and Disney this trip was a pretty basic item, an umbrella. So basically, I found that if I was able to escape to the shade during those hot, intense, sunny moments, I felt 100 times better. I had seen very few people walking around in the sun with umbrellas, and I always thought that it was just a little bit overkill. It just wasn't necessary. It didn't help that much, but I decided to try it on our most recent trip. This umbrella saved my life. Not only that, but I think it saved my skin. I'm a very pale person, and so I sunburn very easily. I don't go outside a lot. I'm an indoor cat, and I just don't see the sun a lot. So I was concerned. We planned our Disney trip on very short notice, so I did not have any time to get any sort of base tan. I don't get a base tan, I just get a base burn. But I had very little time to prepare myself and my skin, so I decided I was gonna try the umbrella. I wasn't gonna go outside in the hot summer sun without it. So I felt a little bit weird using this. I felt a little bit out of place when it was blazing hot sun in the middle of the day and I broke out my umbrella. However, after just a couple hours using it, I didn't care anymore. Our entire 6 days there, I saw maybe 5 other people using an umbrella in the same way. And I gotta tell you, I think we're the smart ones. This saved me. It kept me so much cooler. It kept the sun from just beating down on me and draining my energy. I will never go without an umbrella ever again. And I actually use this one so much that one of the little things came detached, so I limped through my last day, but I will definitely be using an umbrella any future times in the summer sun. Also, it helped for those midday drizzles. The second item that I took with me to our Disney trip was a cooling towel. This is the one that I picked up, and I got it at Walmart, and I kept calling it in the vlogs, I kept calling it a Chilly Willy. I don't know why I did that. It's not called that at all. It's called the iCool towel, and it was just the only one they had at Walmart. So it comes in this, it looks like a can of air freshener, you know, like a spray, but it's not. So basically what it tells you to do on here is to wet the towel and run it through hot water before you first use it. And I noticed that a lot of the blue color came out of it, and that's probably why. But it said to wash it in hot water. It said to wash it in hot water and then store it in the canister wet, and to always keep it wet if you wanted best use out of it. So I did that for the most part. I did let it dry overnight, usually, and it got pretty crispy when it was laying over the shower rack to dry. It got pretty crispy, but it usually resaturated just fine. So this is the towel, and it's been in that canister for over a week, and it's still moist. I hate that word, but it's still soggy. It's still got moisture to it, so it basically just unrolls, and it's this big. And it cost about $10. And what I would do with this is I would just take it and usually fold it and just wrap it around my neck like that and let it hang over my shoulders. Sometimes what I would do is I would open it and I would actually throw it over my shoulders like a shawl. And what it did then was it kept my entire back cool, my shoulders cool, and it actually padded my book bag straps, my backpack straps. So this came in handy. What I didn't love so much was that it's pretty much in all of my pictures because I was wearing it nonstop all day, every day. But we didn't take that many pictures. We've taken a lot of trips and there's really nothing new for us to take pictures in front of. So we don't have a lot of pictures, but this is in them. Another thing I really liked about this is that it doesn't feel wet, but it retains a lot of water. So it's not dripping by any means, but if I were to squeeze this right now, water would actually come out of it. So in those really, really hot moments, when this was around my neck, I would just take one of the ends and just give it a squeeze, and it would let some water kind of drizzle down my arms or whatever, and it would really cool me down quickly. So this is another item that I will not be visiting the theme parks without in the future. So I gotta put this back in the canister. My third and final item that I found really came in handy this trip for staying cool in the summer sun was pretty simple. It's a little handheld fan. So this is the one that I found at Walmart, and it was the only one they had left at that moment. My sister Sarah actually got a different kind, and I'll talk about that in a second. But this is the one that I found. They were absolutely demolished in the store. This was sitting next to where it was supposed to be, and the whole box was empty, and we were trying to find two, one for me and one for Sarah, and this is the only one we found. So what it is a little battery operated fan, and that's the brand name, and you stick a battery in there, just one AA battery, and it's got a switch here on the side, and this is what it does. And I don't know how to show you how much air this puts out. There you go. So it's not a ton of air. It's really not. It's a pretty small amount of air. It's a pretty small fan. However, it made a world of difference. So when we would go outside in the summer sun, I had my umbrella up, I had my cool rag on, and I had this going. It just made a world of difference. The other part of this fan that you'll see down here is that it actually has a mister. That is what I think is the best part of this little tiny fan. So this is a water thing. So you pop that open and you fill with just a tiny amount of water. It doesn't hold much, but that's okay because there's water fountains everywhere. And I didn't want this leaking all over my bag, so it was actually pretty nice to just have small amounts, and I would kind of use it up and then refill it as we went. But when you have it on, and I don't have any water in there right now, so this is not, I don't want to spray myself, but you would turn it on and the little mister is right there. So when you press this, it would spray air or spray water. So you know those huge handheld water bottles that you wear around your neck, and they have the blade like this, and then they have the mist, and they hold a bunch of water. I looked into those and I was fully considering buying one, and I was kind of committed to it because they're just so handy. But that's when I found this one, and I really, really like this one better. It throws into a bag really easily. It's so small. It's not the lightest thing, but it definitely doesn't, it's not something you have to wear around your neck, and it's not something you have to plan so far ahead for. Those water bottles that you wear around your neck, I'm sure they come in handy, but this does everything that does, but it's much, much smaller and less of a burden. So the fan that Sarah got, and I don't think I have it here at the house, but the fan that she got was one that you wear around your neck, and it's shaped like, I don't know, it's shaped like a little capsule, and it blows air upward. I'm sure you've seen these in other vlogs possibly, but it blows air upwards, and it put out more air than that one did, and I did like it, but it didn't have the water element to it. So Sarah actually never took hers to the park at all, but she's more used to being in the heat. Like I said, I'm an indoor cat. I don't do heat. I also don't do extreme cold, so I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be living, but it's not St. Louis. So those are my 3 items to get me through the intense July heat at Universal and Disney World. I've seen a couple people on message boards say things like heat makes them pass out, heat makes them get physically sick, they wouldn't go in August if they want a trip even. These people probably would still suffer pretty terribly in the summer sun in Florida. Also, combined with the amount of crowds that are there, you're just stuck in the heat quite a bit. So I would always recommend going off peak, maybe going in October, March, maybe anywhere between there, just because it is hot in Florida in July and August. It just is. There's no getting around it. So I found that with these items and with those tips I said at the beginning, it really can be a manageable heat. So have you guys been to Florida, Universal, or Disney recently in the hot summer sun? Do you have any items or tips that you can give to me for next time I go? Go ahead and share them in the comments down below. Our trip vlogs will be coming very shortly. I'm going to start editing them as soon as I'm done making this video, and I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to subscribe. I'll see you later.